football team accepting the runner-up trophy here on the near sidelines. Dick Kidwell, his team finishes at 13-1, and certainly, Gary, they are greatly disappointed right now, but after the heartbreak of the loss subsides a little bit, they can look back on a great season, and for Derek Kidwell, there are 2 more years of high school football yet to be played.
Well, all great teams learn as much from a victory and a loss, and I think that's what these kids have to know. They had a great season. They haven't tasted defeat. This is very tough for them to take right now. But for a lot of these players, there's going to be future football games, and they're going to learn a lot from it. You know, there's a nice way to say that you can, there's no winner and no loser. There's no loser in these games, but there's a loser right there, and it's tough for them to take right now, but they'll get over it.
On the far side, a much happier situation for the state champion St. Joe Vikings.
Proud of this fine coach who has coached for 40 years. A most deserving gentleman. And here to present the trophy to your team is the president of the Board of Control, Mr. Harry Jordan from Akron-Kenmore High School. Congratulations, Mr. Jordan, Mr. Gutbrod, and the St. Joseph team. Let me out of here. I'll get out. Go ahead.
Bill Gutbrod winning his 267th victory with the St. Joseph Vikings. And you know where this one will rank, right up on top. St. Joe's rallying from a couple of mid-season losses, stormed into the playoffs and used opportunistic defense today to come up with a victory over a very fine Fostoria team. St. Joe's, the Division II state champions. We'll be back right after this. St. Joe's, the Division II state champions, and the winning coach is with our Paul Cox.
Well, in 40 years of high school football at Cleveland St. Joe, there's only been one coach, and that's this gentleman right here. Coach Gutbrod, has there ever been a feeling like this?
I'll tell you, this is a great feeling. I'm so happy for the school and the community and all these kids for 40 years that have been working for this, and it is a great feeling.
Notice some tears on the sidelines after the game?
Well, there were a lot of tears. There still are.
You talked about field position going into the game. As it turned out in the second half, that wasn't all that important, was it?
Well, it wasn't, but then again, it could have been. You know, just one broken player, and that kid, Macbeth, he can break him. You know, he could have broken the game open with one play. He cuts back so well. He's hard to bring down. He's just a great back.
Did you stop him to your satisfaction?
Well, no, we didn't. We thought we'd do a better job on him, but in the second half, especially in the fourth quarter, I thought we did stop him when it really counted. You know? So I guess it was 4th down and 1, and they gave it to him, and we got to him.
Well, great, Coach. Savor this one. Congratulations.
All right, thanks a lot. Great.
Thank you. Back to you, Jack.
All right, Paul, thanks very much. Back here with former Browns quarterback Gary Danielson. And Gary, certainly the emotion, not only in terms of winning it for Bill Gutbrod, but people like Bill Spleet and Scott Petch keying that defense, coming up with the big plays that enabled St. Joe's to prevail.
Well, it's hard to say sometimes that you got 40 years of tradition working for you, but it seemed in that last drive that they just wouldn't be stopped, and they were going to carry that state championship back to St. Joseph's as they had to do it with no blocking. And it's always nice to win that game with your offense on the field like that and just power football, and they did it. They took the game right away from the Redmen, and it was fun to watch.
Fun indeed as the Cleveland St. Joseph Vikings prevail over the Fostoria Redmen 21-14 to become the Division II state champions. The executive producer of today's game was Joe Tanzarello. It was produced by Paul Kasuth and directed by George Pryor. Once again, the final score, Cleveland St. Joseph 21, Fostoria 14. For Paul Cox and Gary Danielson, this is Jack Corrigan saying we hope you enjoyed the Division II State Championship game. This production has been an exclusive presentation of Sports Channel.